Good morning, Deshpande ji. We are on quote 149 from Wisdom Quotes from Savitri. The line says, "Eternal truth lives not with mortal men." Eternal truth lives not with mortal men.
Mortal man, yeah.
Can you expand on this, please?
But this is the truth also. What Yama is telling is the truth also. Surely we are not in possession of truth. It is not living with us. But the fallacy could be in his argument. Will it be so always? Maybe today you are not in possession of truth. Does it mean that you will never be in possession of the truth? So there is a difference in that. He is sticking to a certain point, which is a very valid point at this moment of time, but it need not be so always. Are there possibilities that the truth can live in mortal man? Of those possibilities, either death is ignorant, or death, knowing that it might happen, is opposing that to happen. The truth should not remain with man. There is a possibility of that also. Here, because he is denial incarnate. Death is denial incarnate. And therefore he will keep on asserting it that, all right, you may think of truth coming and living here, but there is no possibility of that kind at all. If at all it has happened, I am going to oppose it. I am a strong person. I have power enough not that to happen. And I will see that it will not happen. So he is definitely taking a very firm stand from a certain angle. In fact, this is in answer to what Savitri was arguing with death. She says that from life, mind has come. From mind, higher levels of consciousness will also appear here. The Pranamaya Purusha has appeared here. Manomaya Purusha also has appeared here. But beyond Manomaya Purusha, there are ranges of consciousness waiting to appear on the earth. This is the fact of spiritual evolutionary unfolding. And perhaps Yama, death, is unaware of it. She even goes a step further. She says that, look, I come here for that purpose, to see that the higher truth comes and gets established here in this creation. That is the purpose of my birth here. I have taken this human birth, this mortal birth, to bring down the higher truth here. So although you are saying today that truth cannot remain with man, it is a fact, but that does not mean that it will be always so, or need be always so. So she is refuting it from both the sides. She is asserting what he is saying. At the same time, she is saying that he has to go beyond. Now, obviously, in the course of the argument, the debate, or the occult battle between the divine force who has taken the human birth and the opposition which has risen from the darkness of this creation, in that occult battle, the fact that truth has to appear here seems at this point of time in a very precarious state. In a precarious state. In fact, it is not this argument, this occult logic chopping, which is going to win victory for Savitri. For every argument she is going to put, death has an answer. He is the architect of negation, of opposition, as a, what shall I say, most formidable adversary. And in that process, he is not going to lose his ground. The only point which might happen is, he will say, if you are saying all that thing, show me your strength that can win victory over me. So it is, the battle is going to be at that level, not by arguments like this. I would like to see whether you have the strength to establish yourself against my power. So that will be the answer Savitri will be giving to death later on. At this point, he says that, look, mortal man is not in possession of truth, he cannot be in possession of truth. And forget about truth here.